Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Friday Nights Live with It's Just Steph. You guys, it's going to be a hot night. It is going to be a hot night. It's going to be a hot night. So I'm telling you right now, go ahead and get your beverage of choice, some green tea, a little wine, or maybe a cool glass of water, because it's about to get heated. You've been here before. Welcome. And before we get going, let me introduce my guest. My guest all the way from Southern California, Mr. Daniel Williams. How you doing today, love?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to It's Just Steph. Now, I know you've been here and you've been in the chat a time or two, weighing in with your with all that wisdom that you have. But now you're in the hot seat. You said
absolutely.
Okay. Well, Daniel Williams is a senior pastor. He's also a seminary professor, and he is a life coach. And he's coming in to us today, and he's going to give us his. He's my guest co-host. Heard of Daniel? Had you heard of Kevin before, Daniel?
No.
Okay.
First time. Yeah.
Okay, so it hadn't made it out there. So it seems that a lot of people know him, still many that don't, but I guarantee you're going to have a great deal of knowledge about him tonight. So
absolutely.
So I want to go in and I'm going to just start off we're going to show a video. We're going to show a clip, you all. And let me give you a somewhat of a backstory. And then after the video, I'm going to put this video in context so that we're fair about it. So Kevin Samuels is he's an image consultant. He's an image consultant. And I think he initially had a platform for men, and then he crossed over as his audience grew to women. And I think he began to cater more to women. I'm saying all of this loosely. This is, I've just found out about him myself just recently.
Yes.
And so he opens up his platform, YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and so forth. And he takes calls just like I do in the chat. And this particular conversation he had with a woman went viral for several reasons. Some were heated because of what he said. Others were heated because of how he said it. I mean, there's so many layers to this onion that we could peel back. And we're just going to kind of go with the flow of the evening. And shout out to Keisha in the background. Fitz, thank you. Everyone liked the video. Thank you, Alan. Alan says everyone liked the video. Yes, like the video now because you won't have time when it's over. We're about to get into this and you guys are going to forget. So go ahead and like. And if you're on Facebook, you guys, go ahead and share this, please. Share this. I got to find out where all my people are coming from. Frank Willoughby, great to have you. I think this is your first time in the chat. We're happy to have you here. Fitz. Okay, you guys, the guys are being funny in the chat, okay? Fitz says Steph is looking extra delicious. Thank you. I got the COVID hair going. And J&J said, yeah, I got the shoulders out. Okay, I see somebody in Facebook. Thumbs up. Thank you for checking in. Tell me who you are. I don't know if we're going to be able to see you. Keisha, if you're ready, let's roll this clip.
And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want, but you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
This was excruciating.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So
did you I mean, stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average. So
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but
okay, but you're not accepting the fact that average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit,
so
I have to feel like
well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities.
Good brother Cole.
And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. And you're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I'm looking at you, if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same. I'm just.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't. You don't look the same because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for women that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening to me. This is why I always recommend you need therapy.
Okay, this is.
Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being. Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you ain't even supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you, and I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. I'm tired of y'all doing this shit.
Okay. Was that brutal? Was that brutal? I'm about to put this in a little bit more context. Video we just showed is only 7 minutes. However, the original video was 22 minutes. Okay. So it starts off with Kevin Samuels being extremely agitated by this young lady because she called in on, this was his day of disagreements. And she called in because she wanted some advice. So he was immediately agitated, immediately. And I venture to say that she had seen him before. So that I don't want to get to my point yet, but hold on a second. So he encouraged her to come on with it because now that he's agitated, he's going to use this as a teaching lesson. Okay.
Correct.
So that was the next thing. And then her question was this. She owns a pet store, pet grooming business, and she wanted to know, when should she tell the guys she's dating, when should she tell them that she owned a business? Now, he wanted to know why that mattered so much. And she said, well, because it seems like when I tell them, then they want to, join business ventures, or they, and she ends up paying for stuff and so forth. So she said she had been giving guys that were not on her level a chance. Okay. So he goes on, because the guys that she'd been dating and working out for. So then he goes on to say, well, what kind of man are you looking for? So then she begins to speak on this high value man, this 7-figure man, business owner and so forth. And he tells her immediately, well, the guys you want are not asking you out. And then he wanted to know why she wanted those men if they weren't asking her out. And she said, because she can't get on the level of the other men, and these other men she could get on the level with. These other men that have the businesses and the 7 figures, she can respect and she can admire. You guys hold on in the chat because I'm going to come there. I just want to get everybody up to context if they hadn't seen this video before. And then he said, okay, these 7-figure high value men, what do they want? So she goes on to say they want arm candy, but then she says a number of other things. But he tells her those men have options. They have options. And those men don't want average women. So that's how all of this got started. So I hope I filled in some of the gaps. And I'm going to, Daniel, you know what? Can I go first? Can we do ladies first? I'm going to give my point. I'm going to give
absolutely.
my thing.
Please do.
And then we're going to get in here and we're going to let these guys, we're going to see what the people in the chat are talking about. So my thing is this. Like I said, she had seen him before. So she knew his demeanor, she knew his bedside manner. She knew how he rolled, right? So she knew what she was gonna get. And if she wanted his help, because I gotta say this, I've watched more than just this video, and he, someone said it well. Said he has a lot of great teaching points, but it's the way he serves it up. But she said she just kind of eats the chicken and spits out the bones. That's kind of the way I feel about it. He has a lot of great points, but it's kind of put offish because of his bedside manner to me. So now, had that been me, first of all, he wouldn't have been someone I wanted advice from. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all, interrupting. He was absolutely correct about his coming in on the show. He had a designated show, and when he told her that, I felt like she should have exited then, because he was immediately agitated. Immediately. And that was the clue. That was the sign right there. Get on out of there. And she stayed. So I just feel like all that she endured, she kind of brought it on herself. And that's my take. I can't even make it to the other stuff because she kind of brought it on herself. So that's where I sit with it. Daniel, what say you? And then we come into these comments. You guys, if you're coming into the chat, make sure you click that link. Okay, come on, Daniel, what you got?
From a man's perspective, unfortunately, she initiated the conversation by asking, should I date down? And so in placing herself above men and asking another man, should she date down, you automatically said that your respect level for the men were at a certain place where it would be difficult for certain men to respect you. Dating down, I don't know why she would even view it as dating down to date, quote unquote, an average man when she lives in North Carolina. The median income in North Carolina, family income, is $53,000. Now, just because you make $100,000, the likelihood of you finding another man with a six-figure income is really slim to none. Whatever happened to just wanting someone who is above average or average, good credit, hardworking, respectable, someone that can be good to you and your child? Looks like she wants someone to validate who she is when she really should be able to validate herself.
Well,
because if you're that confident that it's about the money factor, and I got to tell you something, Steph, that he wasn't wrong. Kevin wasn't wrong in saying that she was average looking. And that's what he was really, alluding to. The fact that she was average looking when she said herself that she was a 5 before she put on makeup. So she acknowledged that she was average looking. And to be candid with you, if women are going to be honest with us tonight, men, most of the women, they were looking at her saying, well, dang, if she's a 5, then I'm Halle Berry. Just doing a comparison check. But he, the way in which he may have said it, I don't agree with it. Some of the things I certainly don't agree with. But in terms of him just saying she was an average looking person, he wasn't really saying that you're an average person per se, but you're average looking.
I agree.
And so, so yeah, but there were some other things he said that, came across as being disrespectful. But at the end of the day, he was absolutely right in that she was average looking. Okay. And he was honest and candid, and she could have exited at any time, but she chose to listen when she was listening, because there were intervals where she was on her phone, not paying attention at all. And one of the things that I especially want some of the brothers to be enlightened of is the fact that her dad and her uncle are the only two men that she actually know that make six-figure incomes. Now, let's be candid. How did you get your pet store? Who invested into you to get your pet store?
So
Chances.
we don't know all of that.
I understand that, but I'm just
we-
saying, I understand that. But you said speak as a man. She
Okay.
didn't start there. Okay. And so, quite frankly, 9 times out of 10, she may not really meet someone that's making a six-figure income. But if you're making a six-figure income and you have a $10 attitude, it's not going to work one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, I don't. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it cracking, because I didn't see she had an attitude. The attitude was on his end. Okay, I didn't see. I saw that she was not a great listener.
okay.
And I saw that she was maybe a somewhat naive,
attitude.
but I don't think she had I think she's spoiled, daddy and uncle, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We're about to get into these comments. We got 3 people waiting to get in here, and I'm so excited. I don't know. Should we take a fella, or should we take a lady? Let's take Trudy. We're gonna put Trudy in. Trudy. Oh, okay. So Trudy, let's. I'm gonna put you in, and let's see what you have to. What's your take on on this video?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now I can. Hi, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. So this is weird because I didn't want my face shown, but because I'm in the witness protection program.
Thank you, Trudy. Look, thank you, Trudy.
Okay. But what I wanted to say was, for one, I don't like it when we're all lumped into the same category as women, because men don't like us to do that to them. So that was the one thing that kind of put me off. However, having said that, I think she set herself up. And I just felt like she wasn't really that bright. So to Pastor Williams's point, when he said that, who gave her the seed money? I'm like, this girl wasn't smart enough to start anything, because she wasn't even listening to him.
Look, he's got the staff going on. Yeah, I'm just saying that did that really matter? Did that really matter?
Of course it matters.
Yes, it matters. It matters because I don't think she's representing women, all women, because like I said, she didn't seem too bright. So the fact that he was saying all this stuff to her was because of that lack of brightness, and he was just getting agitated with her. So I can see where all of that was coming from, because she wasn't listening. And then when she was saying something, it wasn't, like I said, coming from a intellectual standpoint. So I was like, she's not representing me as a woman. But when she's comparing herself to, I can see what he's saying. You want all this stuff, because I've got friends that are like that, that are making a lot of money. They're highly educated, and they're always saying they can't find a man. But the man that they're looking for is that what they call the devil, 666. He got to be 6 feet tall, got to have 6 figures, got to have a 6-pack. So they're looking for the devil. So, so the thing of it is that, and they might be, like you said, a 5 or whatever at best, or somebody, I think he fits at a 3. So she does have a lot of expectations. And I do believe, again, like somebody has said, that somebody has spoiled her, and she's, her dad was in her life, her uncle, they're making good money. They probably treated her as a princess coming up, and she's still delusional. She's just still delusional. And so that's why her standards are that high, which I can't blame her in a way, because, that's what daddies do for you. I didn't go for the dad, but that's what daddies do for you. But sometimes I think it can be harmful. So I think what daddy and them should have been telling her was you look for a good man, you look for his heart, and y'all pull your resources together and you work on it. You work together. I mean, that was the perspective that I came from when I was looking for a mate, and that's the mate that I found was somebody who's working with me. We can have a 6-figure salary together. So that wasn't what my first priority was. And so I looked seriously at the way I was treated. And, of course, there was the physical, but it was never the money thing for me. But I think it's the money thing for a lot of women. And like he said, what are you bringing to the table? So that's my perspective. Good or bad.
Wow.
Okay, well, she was saying that she tried to, when she date those men, then they will want her to, because in the extended video, in the original video, she said that they would want her to pay for things and, so forth. So, Daniel, you said that the
rightfully so, Stephanie, because her focus is her money. And so if you're putting yourself out there to say, if you're more into money than you are into values, then a man will value you based on your money. And unfortunately, she put herself out there. And so if you come to me saying, I have this, I have that, I could do this, I can do that, most men will let you do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go, Stephanie, I'm going to go out because I would like to hear someone else's comments, especially men. So
thank you. So I'm going to get Perry
thank you, Trudy. I need your Cash App.
You got to send me some money. Okay. I only do Zelle. So can you Zelle me a couple bucks?
Hey, I can do that too.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Dear.
Thank
you, Trudy. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to go to Perry here in a second, but I want to get to J&J says that, let me see. I should have read this first. He said he knows women with a 4-figure salary that wouldn't come on the video with her hair looking like that. What does that got to do with anything?
You know what? Come on, let's face it, Steph.
Okay, come on.
If you have a 6-figure income, all right, look the part. Okay. Even if you got to fake it until you make it, look the part.
Okay.
Okay. Don't talk about what you have if you're not displaying it. Look the part. Okay.
Well, she thought she was.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Where is she from? North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Okay, well, that's sweet. But I'm getting Perry in here. Let me hear what Perry's saying. Ericka, I see you. Thank you for hanging in there. Chicago, everything. Thank you. My hair looks amazing. Thank you so much. Y'all sure be making a girl feel good here. So let's go ahead. Perry.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Actually, I hang out with Pastor Willoughby, so I have a different lens. I'm a man of God, so as a man of God, I think that there is a way that I need to present myself to the world, and I've chosen this path. So when I hear men disrespect women, even if they disagree with them, I need to point it out.
Okay, come on.
So Brother Kevin Samuels does tell the truth a lot of times.
Yes, he does.
But I say to you, brother, if you had a daughter, if you had a sister, and even if you felt that your sister was out of order, would you like me to conduct myself and talk to your sister in that manner?
Thank you.
And I think of my niece. If my niece was on that show, and even if I had a disagreement with my niece on, the way that she is presenting herself, I don't think that was called for. And I still like his show. It can be very entertaining.
Yeah.
But I think that but he doesn't call himself. He doesn't wear the title of the cloth that I do. He doesn't come before the world declaring himself as a man of God.
Right.
So I like the fire that I'm bringing to this conversation,
right.
because I think women need to know that all men don't, come across that way. Now, I agree with him, but to women out there, I'll tell you this, attraction too between a man and a woman is between a man and a woman. So I have no right to say, that woman can't be attracted to somebody. Now, she may not be attractive to me, because we all have a taste, but
Right.
still, brother, there's a way to respect, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
Right.
come on, don't make her feel like she's just, has no value.
Right.
That's all I want
I'm
to
sending.
say.
I'm. What's your cash app, Perry? Because I'm with you tonight. I'm with you tonight. I mean, and that's my problem, and I don't want to. If this is you all first time hearing about Kevin, I don't want to spoil it, but I think he does. He puts out a lot of good feedback, a lot of great points, but I think he's too general and he's too broad. And like you said, attraction is between a man and a woman. I had just had up here, Chicago, everything says, he says, what's looking the part? People worry about the wrong schnit. Okay. So I think he's kind of saying what you're saying, Perry, in his way, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we all have different lifestyles, different, I had a brother tell me today that he doesn't want to be a millionaire, because there's a lot of attention that comes with being a millionaire. There's he doesn't have the time that he could devote to things that are more important to his life, but he doesn't mind, being in that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, lifestyle.
Right.
So, people have, and he said he came to that decision after 38 years of his life experience and his journey. So, I think we all need material means, and we all have different standards that are going to bring us contentment. But, at the end of the day, I think most men want to be respected and loved by the woman in their life. You can't make a woman love you. You can't make a man love you, but you can pray to God that the person you're with ultimately has chosen you. You come to that conclusion maybe after being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're trying to build a relationship with someone you enjoy being with. At least I do. So if I have all the money, or you have all the money, but I've got, like the gentleman there said, but you have a terrible attitude. Well, what, I mean, I'm not going to be, or you just, what am I trying to say? Money is just not everything. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not going to make me happy. I think at the end of the day, most men want money to make you all happy, to buy the things that you, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a woman that respects who I am, that honors, the values. And, if I'm trying to raise children, to mother my children and all that, a woman I want to make love to, that I'm attracted to. But is the material things going to make me happy at the end of the day? Not, I mean, for me, it's a means to satisfy your need.
Okay. Well, let me hit this back to Chicago everything. So you said worried about the wrong stuff. Tell me what you look for. Tell me what you look for, and tell me if you one of those 7-figure brothers. I'm just curious how many. If you one of those 7-figure brothers, I want you to comment and just say me. I want to see something.
Are you asking? Yeah, if you're asking for a 7-figure brother, you're not going to get too many responses.
Okay, well, give me
but
some.
But if you ask for 6, okay,
6 figure.
Okay.
I just want you to say Say me. Let me see some. Perry, thank you so much for coming into the chat. I hope you stick around. I want to get to some other people here because I think Donald King was kind of challenging someone. Donald King, thank you for being here. Donald King says, here goes that beta male stuff. Here goes that beta male talk. Okay. So tell me what you're talking about, Donald King. Come on back. Don't leave us. Don't give us part of it. Frank Willoughby says, build her up, not tear her down. Yeah, Trudy's asking, what do you mean, Donald? Fitz say, here we go. Let's see. Frank is saying, teach. Donald King says, let's see if it was your daughter saying it, if it was your daughter, women need the truth. Beta males tell women what they want to hear. Oh, so he's in the fact that somebody was saying, what if this was your daughter? Would you want to hear? And he was like, beta males tell women what they want to hear. Okay.
No. Is he calling me a beta male? I'm not a beta male.
Okay.
I'll call him out on that. See, this is where you need to be confronted. You calling a man of God a beta male because I want to respect a woman. So no, that's not gonna be accepted. Because I can bring it just like you can, brother. I disagree with you. So, these guys that say now, this is where we need to really talk because you think that a man is soft because he can love a woman. And look, ask the man that says that I'm a beta male. I come from a family where my mother and father were married for 67 years. So ask that same gentleman if he came from that type of upbringing.
Hey, Donald King. Hey, Donald King. Donald King, come into the room. Come here. Come into the room, Keisha. Put the link up there. Put the link in the comments. Donald King, I need to see you. We need to get this talk hashed out. Click the link, Donald King. Come in here if you don't want to be on camera. Blank out your camera and just put your mic on. Perry, I'm gonna let you go to the background. I'm gonna get a woman in here. I'm gonna bring it to Ericka. Let's get Ericka and Perry. We'll come back to you when we get Donald King in here. It's getting hot in here. It's getting heated. It's getting heated. Let's take Perry out. Let's take Perry out.
Hey, Steph.
Yes.
As Ericka come in, it's so amazing that even in wanting a six-figure man per se, you don't know his habits. You don't know he could make six-figure, but based on his lifestyle, he might be saving $10,000 a year versus dating a brother that's making 75 but putting away 25. So you really need to get to know the person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna go so far as to say this, Ericka, unmute your mic, love. I'm gonna go so far as to say this is okay. What's wrong with a brother that's in the low 100s? So his point was this: you're average. What's wrong with an average man? Because she said she was a 5 in the morning and a 6 when she put herself together. So what is wrong with that? I'm gonna tell you this: love me, respect me, adore me. If you talking about being my husband, be able to provide. Not that we can't come together and pull our resources, like Trudy said, but because see. Now I'm going into another video he had. I'm going after my own wealth. Okay. So I get up every day and I grind because I'm trying to get that. And the man that I'm going to be attracted to is going to be going after that too. So I don't have to put certain labels on them because we're going to be mutually attracted to each other because we're going to be getting ours. And that's how that's going to go. Ericka. What happened to Ericka? Ericka, come back in the room. She was on the screen. So let's see what's going back in. Nikki Allen, you're late. Better late than never, honey. Thank you for being here. Chicago Everything says, what does Somebody told me to be putting my glasses on. Cause what does a man of gift mean? Oh, I think he meant man of God mean. That don't make you an alpha. Okay. So Perry, he was sending that to you. I see Ericka is back. So Perry, Chicago Everything says, what does a man of God mean? That don't make you an alpha. Okay, so we'll come back to you, Perry. Let's get Ericka. I want to get another woman in here. Ericka?
Yeah,
Ericka, you there?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Ericka. Welcome.
Hi.
This is your first time coming into the chat. Where you checking in from?
Chicago.
Okay. You sound like you got something on your mind, sis. I can't hear you.
Wait, hold.
Hold on. We in the middle of a show. Where you going? Hold on. Okay, well, while we on hold, Frank Willoughby said, calm down, Perry. Calm down. Well, this is a platform. I said for you all I encourage you to truly express yourselves, but let's do it with respect. And that's all I ask on the platform. Trudy says, if you like this conversation, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. And if you are on Facebook, please share this. I'm trying to see where all my people at. Chicago Everything says, what are the women bringing to the table? Most women won't even know what to do with a man that's paying all the bills. Now you're talking in general again. Well, why we can't say some? You say most women. Ericka, are you there? You got to unmute your mic. Ericka, most women don't want to know what to do with a man that's paying the bills. Now, I don't understand that Chicago Everything. But what are you talking about, Daniel?
I think what he's alluding to is the fact that even if a man come in and step up to the plate and take care of everything, that there are some out there that really don't know how to value or appreciate a man of that caliber.
Okay. Frank Willoughby, I look cute in my glasses. Thank you, Frank. Frank,
Put them back on, sister.
Put them back on. Let me see. I'm trying. I don't know where Ericka
She really can't see Frank there for sure.
I really can't. You all, I can read. Somebody said I'm over here reading like the people in the chat can't write. So it's all me. It's all me. And I think I get a glare. I don't know where Ericka went. I'm still waiting on we're still waiting on Don King to come into the room. Donald King, where are you? Coming into the room. Okay, so listen.
All right. There we are.
Ericka, are you there?
Unmute yourself, Ericka.
Your audio, you look unmuted, but Trudy said she don't know if my glasses are cute, but they sure help to read. Christopher Daniel says, I'm trying to pull up his comment. Is it there? If you don't know your worth, someone will give you your... that's good, Chris.
What did he
Chris
say?
says, if you don't know your worth, someone will give you your price. Will give you a price. Know your worth. That's right. That's right. Okay, Chicago cleaned it up. Chicago said that he said most, not all.
Right.
So it's not general. Okay, Ericka, where you at, dear? E-Fits is saying OMG. OMG what? E-Fits what? I'm trying to see what we talk. Ericka, you may have to go out and come back in, dear. I'm not sure what's happening. Again, if you all are on Facebook and you want to come into the chat, there's a link. You want to come into the YouTube link so that you can come into the chat. Also, if you want to come into the window, we welcome you into the window. Daniel, it's 8:53. How long? Normally we wrap up at 9. Most times we go over. How long are you hanging out with us? I need to know. Comment.
I'm here.
You're here?
Okay. It's only it's not even 7 o'clock on my clock. So let's roll.
Okay. I missed what? I missed what, Trudy? What did I miss? Tell me, did I miss something? So I need to know, fellas. Okay, because I still didn't see how many fellas in here are in six figures, because he was speaking specifically on these high value men. Okay. So ain't nothing wrong with a brother that's making 99. Okay. You're making 99, ain't nothing wrong with that. But I want to know if this is the case. The higher the money you make, do your pickings get, how do you say it? Do you get more particular in your pickings? Do you feel like, I mean, or is your choosing across the board? I mean, does it not matter? You want what you want. Kind of like Perry said, you know, attraction is between a man and a woman. So do you want what you want? Or does the more your income climb, the more your and as your choices open up, do you get more particular? I think we have Ericka here back. Let's see. Ericka, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Someone said you went to get wine and everything, girl.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
What's on your mind, Ericka?
I think it depends on the person. Stephanie, you asked the question, does the more you make, does your pickings get a little slimmer, so to speak? I think it's all in you. I don't think that money makes a person. I believe that you have to look beyond money. But I also believe that as a woman, and speaking from a woman's point of view, I don't see anything wrong with setting standards for what you want.
Okay.
I don't see that if you want a six-figure man, I don't see anything wrong with that, with looking for that. Because at the end of the day, if you don't get what you want, you can't blame anybody but yourself. And so as you go through life looking for a mate or looking for that type of relationship, it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to tweak your standards along the way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting what you want. If
Okay.
you don't get it, go back and look at your list, look at your standards and readjust them as you go along. But don't settle because society says you should settle.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask you this. I see you in the back room, Alan. Hang tight. I'm coming to you next. Perry, don't go. Come on back, Perry. Don't go. So let me ask you this, Ericka. You are what, if you don't mind me asking, what income bracket are you in? Are you like, would you say average, upper, or?
I'm average.
Okay. So when you look for a male, do you tell me what you look for? Tell me what you look for, and give me your age range. You don't have to tell me your age if you don't want to. If you want to, that's fine. But give me your age range, and tell me what you look for in a man.
I am 51.
Okay.
Let me first say I'm not looking for a man.
Okay.
At the age of 51, I'm trusting the word of God that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. I've looked through my life. Mm-hmm. Right now, where I'm at right now, I'm not looking. Okay. I'm content with where I am. When God gets ready to put me in the relationship that he has for me, I will know.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So are you open? So let's say a man approaches you. Are you open to dating a man who is below average income?
Yes.
Okay. How low will you go? How low will you go?
Listen.
I'm not going to. I won't say how low I will go because I don't.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to know if there was. I wanted to know if there was a cutoff for you. We have some action going on here.
Let me say something real quick, Steph.
Okay, come on.
I can be very old school, and I appreciate being old school. From the perspective that a man should do the chasing, not a woman. And I agree with you. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor. I agree with you there. I just believe that anybody who desire marriage should make themselves marriage material. Focus on what you would do as a married person and start manifesting those things in your lifestyle. And then you'll attract someone that's looking for the same thing.
Okay.
And so I think that oftentimes we attract people, but we're attracting them using some of the wrong baits, and that's never good. Just be who you are and desire to be, and please believe me, the right person will find you.
Okay. So Chicago, everything says most women want an old school man like granddaddy, but they still want to have hit girl summers.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Chicago everywhere, because you are putting a very large percentage of women in the most category.
Okay.
And I, for one, won't be put in that category. I'm not most women. I don't believe that. I don't believe that most women want what he put in that statement. And again, I agree with you attract what you're looking for by the way you carry yourself. So if you're looking for low class, you'll get low class by the way you carry yourself as low class. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful manner. It is reality. Money doesn't make the man, nor does money make the woman.
Okay.
You can have all the money you have and still be, for lack of a better word, a butthole to a woman.
Okay. Well,
So,
Trudy says ain't nothing wrong with a brother making $32,000. It isn't what you make, but what you do with it. I know 6-figure folks that are broke.
Yes, Lord.
Dwayne Liggins says, what does money have to do with it? I mean, money has nothing to do with it. I'm sorry. I memorized it. I wasn't reading it. I just memorized his comment. Frank says, you like who you like. Trudy says, if someone is willing to pull that 32,000 with your 68,000, you'll have six figures. You can figure out what you can save, spend, and invest together.
Absolutely.
Fit said facts, Trudy. Chicago, everything says men will pull a woman up that has little to nothing. A woman making X amount will not bring a man up with a lot less. Did I read that right? Or do I need to put my glasses on?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Donald King says, truly, women wouldn't share like that. What do you mean? No, you know what? Donald King about to get beat up, because I'm going to say that. Okay, you saying most. I want to know, first of all, Donald King, are you married or are you single? Tell me if you're married or single, and then tell me how old you are, please. I'm glad you're here, though. Thank you for participating in the chat. But tell me how old you are, and tell me if you're married or single. We need to see some here. Ericka, thank you, love. Thank you for coming into the window.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm getting ready to pull Alan in while we're pulling Alan in. Go ahead, Daniel.
You know, Steph, ironically enough, let me just put this out there.
Okay.
I dated someone that made 7-figure income. Mm-hmm. Okay. And they never looked at me in terms of money. They looked at me in terms of the person, the man, the personality, what I brought to the table in terms of a protector, and how I provided. Sometimes it's how you can provide that's just as important as what you provide. Mm-hmm. You know, if you give a person something and it's from your heart, it's the values in how you give it, mm-hmm. Giving your best, and so women, contrary to what Donald said, there are women out there that will date, men that make less money, And when you find someone that's making a 7-figure income and you're not, you might want to turn that into a marriage.
I'm about to ask you what happened to that 7-figure, but I'm not gonna
ask. Yeah.
I ain't gonna ask. Let me go.
Yeah. Just let me tell you, I didn't go anywhere.
Because I want. Hey, let me say this. I came across back in my younger years, in my 22s, and in my younger years. Now I've dated quite a few. I mean, not quite a few. I've dated a handful of 7-figure, and I ain't gonna say what happened to those neither. So Trudy says, of course we would. Oh, wait, first of all,
I agree, Trudy.
Frank Willoughby says, he says he liked the host. That ain't the comment I was looking for. He said, what happened to love? Thank you, Frank. He said, what happened to love? Donald King says, he says he's in a relationship and he is 34.
All right, Donald.
Okay. So Donald, let me say this. Keep living. Keep living. You're in a relationship. So, maybe you won't have to see, but there are plenty of women. I'll say the women in my circle or the women that I know and myself. It's nice if you got money. It's nice if you can do nice things for us. It's nice if we're able to do nice things together. That's nice. That's real. But that's not what's most important to me. So, and I think that's what's happening with Kevin. He's very general and broad, and I see it in some of the content and then some of the comments. We're going most, or women. Hey, it's to each his own. To each his own. Wow, Chicago says, wow. Wow, what, Chicago? Yeah, Trudy says, wow, what? Wow, what? Let's get Alan in here. We got Alan, unmute your mic. Are you there?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Alan. Welcome to the chat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I've been enjoying the chat so far. And I've been consuming Kevin Samuels' content for a while now. Okay. So I have a deeper understanding of what his point is he's trying to get across. But I think watching short snippets of his content, you may get lost in his delivery, and you may close your mind off to the value he's actually trying to give to women dating in the 2021 marketplace. But let me do something first and foremost. Let me define this high value man philosophy that he gives to us, because a lot of times there's 6 figures. It's actually 6 parts to it. So one thing is money. Yes, he says $10,000 a month. That's the first part about it. And this high value man concept was not created by Kevin Samuels. This has been around for years. A lot of black men and black women has just never heard of the concept of a high value man because most of the men in our communities aren't high value men. So we don't have a lot of examples and a lot of teachings on this philosophy. So to define it, the first thing is money. The second thing is longevity. Has the man made the 6 figures for at least 5 years consecutively? Has he maintained that 6-figure income? The third thing is group acceptance. A high value man will be surrounded by other high value men. So just having 6 figures don't make you a high value man in itself. The fourth thing is your network. Can you reach out to people that's high value to get things done? Visibility. Are you LinkedIn level? Like, can someone look at you and see that you're a VP of sales at this company? You're a doctor, you're a dentist. Like, you're not just saying, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a track boy. You have a real profession, career. People can look at you and see you're credentialed and you are a high value man. And the last thing is utility. Are you useful to the group? Can people come to you and receive help, receive support? And does the group accept you as being someone that can offer something to the group other than just money? So now that definition is out there, I kind of want to go into what Kevin Samuels tried to point across to women. The point is, Kevin Samuels, is most black men in America, and this show is catered to the black community. Most black men in America make $42,000 a year. That's the average income for black men in America.
42 or 52?
42. White men make around 50. The average white median income is around $50,000 a year. but the average black male income is 42. So what Kevin Samuel does is he's advocating for the middle class, hardworking black men who deliver your packages, who fix your plumbing, who build your roads, who build your schools. These are average good black men, but a lot of these women has already counted those men out from jump. So what Kevin Samuels is saying is, if you only value a man for his money, don't be surprised when a man only values you for your beauty.
Right.
Okay? So if a man understands he has to go accomplish this financial feat in order to have his pickings, a woman needs to realize she needs to go accomplish this beauty, this femininity, these characteristics that men value in order to get the pickings she wants. You can't just show up to the table with spoiled food and say, you know, I need to be deemed the best chef in town. You got to show up with the best to require the best in return. So that's what Kevin is doing. He's advocating for the average black man, and at the same time, 1 in 4 black women will get married in their lifetime. So what women are trying to accomplish with this, I need a 6-figure man, it hasn't been working because they're not getting married, but they're having babies, but they're not getting married. So whatever you do isn't working. Let me get one more point across. And no, this problem is really a millennial problem, because I look at baby boomers and Gen X women, I don't see it as proliferated in those generations than it is in my generation.
That's why it asked his age. Yeah.
Right. So I talked to seasoned women. They understand this concept, right? They might not like his delivery, but at least they get the point. Millennial women, they don't agree at all. They shut it down. They don't want to hear it. They're not even open to understanding what a man wants from a woman. They want a man to value what a woman values. And if a man don't value the same thing a woman value, then that man is already deemed problematic. And what Kevin does is he encapsulates this whole thing in an analogy to like a car sale or a business marketplace. In the dating marketplace, he compares to the business marketplace, and he says this: if you want a car that's a certain value, that costs a certain amount of money, then you have to come to the table with the amount of money that car costs. You can't just scream and holler and say, well, the car shouldn't cost $100,000. The car should be $10,000 because that's all I got. You should just take my $10,000. No, whatever that person wants for that car, if you want that luxury, you have to come to the table with whatever that exchange of value is to get that luxury. So to button this all up, all Kevin is telling these women is, it's okay for you to want high value men if you're going to put the work in, understand what they want, and be who they want: beautiful, feminine, and cooperative, right? The second thing is, if you're not having success with high value men, be open to an average man, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. All right. And that is what he told her. He said those men don't want you. He said those men have choices. You know, and he told her that, you know, and he admonished what's wrong with an average man. So thank you for you laid it all down for us. Thank you so much. What a great job you did. Look, Kevin would be proud.
You're right.
I just wanted his philosophy to be clear.
Right.
I agree with everything.
Right.
But I feel like 7-minute snippets will leave a lot of people having an impression of this guy that's not the totality of who he is. So I just want to lay it out. That's it. So everybody
to motivate more folks to go and listen to him. I heard the piece about you know, basically the 6-figure man, and he laid out 6 concepts of that man. But it's amazing. Just go and listen to the brother. I think you'll gain more insight and but once again, we definitely don't agree with disrespect. That's something that we don't agree with. We'll never agree with demeaning a woman. That's something that we'll never agree with, no matter what.
So, Alan, I want to ask you before you go. Let me do a couple of comments, but I have a question for you, Alan, before you go. You have a moment?
Yeah, no problem. I'm here.
Okay. So, Perry Yee says, painful life. Thank you for joining us from California as well. So Perry Yee says he agrees with the matters of the heart. Frank Willoughby says, the way I love makes me high value. The way he loves. You hear that, Alan? Frank Willoughby says the way he loves makes him high value. Perry Yee says mind, body, and soul, bro. So these brothers are saying they have value because, you know, who they are on the inside. But again, Alan just broke down the concept of what this high value men. And I think I had a conversation with a cousin of mine who said that she believed that she's a 10 and so forth and so forth. I want to get another sister in the window. I need to ask you something. I need to see something. I see Aaliyah Washington here. Thank you for joining us. She says Kevin is trying to get Black women to lower their standards. Alan, listen to this. Aaliyah says Kevin is trying to get Black women to lower their standards or conform to gender roles to attract high value men.
And that goes back to the analogy of the car. If you want a luxury vehicle, but you got a $10 attitude or $10 in your wallet, you either got to lower your standards for a car you can afford or do the work and get the value to exchange for that car. So if that high value man needs a certain value from you to exchange his value, you have to understand what he's looking for. But once again, some of these women, they've already defined in their mind what a man should value. And men and women are different. We value different things. And until women tap into that understanding and realize, let me understand what a man values. Okay. And if I want this kind of man, that's what he values. Either I'm going to get in line with that or I'm going to change the type of man that I'm looking for.
Okay.
So I heard a preacher say not too long ago, everyone finds their soulmate because you attract what your soul is.
Right.
So if your soul is shallow, don't be surprised when your soulmate's soul is shallow and you get your soulmate.
I hear you.
So
I hear you. I have a question before you. I have a question for you before you go. I want to get someone else in this window. Aaliyah, I need a sister in the window. Can you come into the window, love? She says, Aaliyah says that in your opinion, what is the foundation of marriage?
Well, I don't think that's the theme of this show. So
I
I
don't
don't
think
want
so
to go into a philosophy of marriage in this show. We're talking about the dating market, what kind of man you want, and what you bring to the table. My philosophy on marriage will take 2 other shows to get that out. But even in that, having a traditional way of thinking on marriage turns a lot of women off these days. And back during the civil rights times, and Kevin talks about
way back at civil rights.
Hold on. Times were harder back then for Black men and Black women, but more people were married back then than today. So you want to know what someone's foundation of marriage is. If you don't agree with it, then you're just going to rebut it. You're going to argue it and give your points. But the reality is that we should be looking for outcomes. And what outcome do you want determines the foundations or the values that you place on your marriage. So if you have a lifestyle value, then you're going to make the foundation of marriage starts with money. You know, if love and respect is your values, then that may be your foundation. Of course, the Bible gives you certain definitions, and society has certain definitions. But if you want a relationship to work with your partner, y'all have to have the same values for your foundations to your marriage to make sure you're on the same page. And that's just how I look at it.
Okay. So I want to ask you, Daniel, and I want to ask you, Alan. This is my question. And I want to ask all of the fellas in the chat. I want to ask Chicago Everything, Frank, Chris, Perry. I want to ask all of you all. Tell me your age. Okay. And then or your age range, whatever. I don't know. I'm hung up on age, and most people are not. But tell me, I just want to know personally, give me three or four things that you look for, or things that attract you, however you want to say it. I want to hear from the fellas in the chat. Go, come on, Daniel, you, and then Alan, give me three or four things that you look for in a woman, or what attracts you about a woman.
Interesting. Age, first of all, 58. In terms of a woman, I'm literally turned off by aggressive women. There are women that are quite aggressive, some that because they want something, they go for it, go after it. That's their mantra, so forth, so on. I'll let them have that, but that will not work for me.
So come on with what attracts you.
I got you, Steph. I got you, Steph.
Okay, come on.
In terms of attraction, most men can't get past the fact that, number one, they have to be appealing, and whatever that means to you, it means that to you. They have to be appealing to you, pleasing to the eye, to you.
They have to be good looking.
To men.
So they got to be fine.
Yeah,
and they gotta be fine.
Yeah.
Can they be between average and fine, or do they have to be fine?
Appealing to you and to men, because let's face it, as Alan was saying, that even with a man definitely wants to walk with someone that he values, that he can be proud of, and the fact that they look good together, they complement one another in so many ways. And so attraction, is obviously very important. Respect is high up there. Respect yourself, respect me. I think, that's important. And whether they have children or not, it's just a matter of the way you treat people at the end of the day. If you treat your kids a certain way, a man will value your kids, respect your kids. There's a lot of men that really don't have a problem with women with children. It's not a big issue.
Right.
It's a matter of how you raise those kids, and so you want a support system, someone, and then last but not least, communication.
Okay.
Communication, being able to communicate is a must. I have 58 years old. I've never called a woman out of her name. 58 years old, never called a woman out of her name.
I don't think I don't think that's a great feat. I mean,
no, it's not. But trust me, it becomes somewhat with the new era, new millennials. You could talk how you want to talk, say what you want to say, and just value my opinion. That's not necessarily an opinion. It could be disrespectful. But at the end of the day, communication. You want someone that if you can verbally communicate, then you can develop other type of love languages.
Okay. So, Alan, I'm going to come to you. Let me see. Dwayne Liggins is in. He says, someone who is honest, who knows how to be sexy, communication skills, and fears God. You didn't give us your age range, but we just trying to see something here. Frank says he's 50 and her heart and passion. She has to have a heart and passion for life. She can't be ugly to him. he like who he likes. Okay, so come on, Alan, give me your 3 or 4.
All right, so to people that's watched Kevin Samuels, he says this is usually a part of his few for women. I've been preaching for years. It just was a confirmation hearing it from Kevin. So one of those 3 is a woman's fitness and her beauty. So of course the appealing thing, which you probably hear is a consistency from a lot of men to appeal to him. 2, feminism. I don't want a woman that's masculine. Okay, I got enough masculinity for the both of us. Okay, and I don't need my woman to be, behaving as a man. And the third thing is cooperation or communication, one and the same. Like, do you realize, like, because I feel like I have a mission in life already. Okay. I know where I'm trying to go, and I need a woman that's going to be supportive of that and be cooperative with that, not making me feel like, you know, we got to be on her mission, you know, or her mission is just important as my mission. Because if it's that way, then I'll just stay single and accomplish my goals first, and then I'll be that 7-figure man with the easy pickings. But if I'm going to work with the woman at the level I'm at now, then she needs to realize I'm on a mission, and if you want to come along this ride, then realize I'm leading this journey. But real quick, can I give you a quick story, if you don't mind?
Okay.
Real quick. So I had this conversation with a woman of German heritage and Creole. She's German and Creole, but she's mostly German. So she's a white woman. Okay. She has a black husband that's a high value man. He does cybersecurity for the Pentagon. Okay. I know these people. I know their backstory. But he's a high value man, 20 years in the military, retired, and 6-figure income in Washington, D.C. And so I asked her opinion on this situation. And she said for a lot of women in her culture, they're taught to understand what men value. They're taught to understand the man because then they're able to get the man because they know what the man wants. Okay. And what she said is a lot of American women want ready-made men, already to made it to the top. But what she was taught was you find a man either on your level or slightly above it and help build him up to the next level, make him the mission. And then once he's accomplished, then you get your mission accomplished. And so what she did was she met a private in the army stationed in Germany, black guy, making $1,800 a month. She married him, had his children, built him up. He went to college, got his master's degree. Now he's a 6-figure man. And guess what he did? He allowed her to go to college. He didn't allow her, but she ended up going to college. He had her doctor of nurse practice. Now she's a 6-figure woman. Their daughters are in college and they're living a great life because she understood, I'm going to make him the mission first. I'm going to support his mission first. And once he gets to the top, then I can come right behind him with all of his support, and me and my children can accomplish whatever we want to accomplish. But a lot of times in our community, we have a battle between the man and the woman who can get there first. And that's my little story on talking to somebody about this.
Okay. I'm going to ask you what you think about that, Daniel. Let me go in the comments to see some men checking in. Okay, so J&J says he's 53. He looks for a woman with class, integrity, God-fearing, sense of humor, and appealing to him. Perry Yee says, yes, she has to catch my eye. Chicago Everything says beauty, open-minded, sex appeal, funny. And he said, that's what attracts me. Oh, now that's interesting. He said that's what attracts him, but that's not what keeps him. Tell me, Chicago Everything, what keeps you? Chicago Everything is 40. Tell me what keeps you then. Okay, so what's your... Hey, listen, ladies. Okay, so we're overtime. Normally we're here until 9 o'clock. We're overtime, so we're just hanging out. If you are still here and you're just getting into the chat, we did a kind of a reaction to Kevin Samuel's video where he told one of his viewers she was average at best. Now we broke that whole thing down, and you're kind of late, but come on into the party and hit like, share this if you're on Facebook. Go ahead and share this. I'm not sure how much longer we'll be here. I appreciate you all coming in. And Alan, thank you for coming in and breaking that whole Kevin Samuels thing down. I want to know what the ladies think about the men's responses.
I thought Mr. Williams was going to respond to what I said about the German.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. When you're in a covenant relationship, whoever can fast track, I believe, towards success first, that's the person you want to elevate. And in elevating that person, please believe me, as they rise, they will bring you up along with them. And so I believe that it requires unselfishness. And someone needs to be unselfish enough to say, hey, if you get to the top, I'm going with you. So let's see who can fast track there first, and let's motivate that person, because you're not going there without me being there. And so, in essence, I'm not just elevating you, I'm elevating us.
What were you? Is that what you were looking for, Alan?
Yes, I'm definitely looking for a woman that realizes that I'm already on the fast track. So even if she's on my level or above, realize I have a mission. I'm not derailing for a relationship. Okay. I'm going to accomplish my purpose first. If you can join me on that mission, great. You can do that. But
Well, what if it was like Daniel says, what if she's on a faster track? What if she's closer to her goal? Do you now maybe temper it a little bit and kind of push her forward?
no, that's why I'm on my mission and my purpose, and I'm going to accomplish mine first. I've been married, had children. I'm divorced, right? So I've been down this road at a young age, so I haven't missed that boat. I understand what that's about. So I know getting into marriage again, where I need to be. My checklist needs to be already checked off to a certain point. So when I get with a woman, we don't have these battles, that come with, if you're climbing the corporate ladder, you're moving around everywhere, you're making decisions that may, impact a family in a negative way. It's like, let me go accomplish these things first and then present myself to a woman that may want to make a way to settle down.
Yeah, so you have tunnel vision. You focused on, so you're not out here looking or choosing.
Because I realize there's trade-offs. I realize there's trade-offs in relationships. And what some people do, they want Disneyland. They want it all. And if they can't have it all, then they complain. But I don't complain. I know what outcomes I'm looking for. I understand the dating market. So I realize I got to sacrifice. Of course, I want love and a relationship. I want all of that. But I'm sacrificing that as a trade-off to get where I want to get. And it's just delayed gratification for me at this point.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of, I don't want to harp on women because a lot of men do this as well. But I feel like we get so used to wanting everything right now. And we sacrifice a lot of what we need for what we just want right now. And that's why we end up in these toxic or negative relationships that don't work, because we don't want to put the work in first and then present ourselves as a better partner to somebody.
Yeah. Aaliyah says, Aaliyah, I wanted you to come in. We're getting ready to head out of here, you guys. Aaliyah said, exactly, marriage is a partnership, but Kevin is not teaching that. He wants women to submit to men.
That's not true.
I don't think so either, Aaliyah. I don't think so. Aaliyah, tell me if this video tonight was your first time watching Kevin. Tell me how well you've been following him, because I'm gonna say.
Can I say this real quick? If you don't mind, real quick before we get out of here. Men submit to women on the first date. Keep that in mind. On the first date, we submit to your will. We go where you want to go, do the things you want to do, or we do things to make you happy.
Daniel's laughing.
From the jump, men are submitting to women's will. But the moment a man open his mouth and say the word submit, it's like we just spoke the worst word in the world. Nothing's wrong with submitting. Nothing's wrong with that.
You know what? I agree. And I'm gonna give it the last word on this deal. Chicago, everything says you asked what attracts him. You don't see God-fearing, you don't see all these qualities in the club or the store, etc. We're only attracted to the surface until we learn. Right. Okay. That's fair. I don't, Aaliyah, and to this point, I don't, in terms of submission, I think that word has, it has a bad rap. I think submitting, in a relationship or in a marriage, there is a partnership, but there still has to be a lead. And Kevin Samuel says these alpha females, we destined to be alone, but I'm an alpha female. But it is my pleasure. It is my extreme pleasure to submit to my man, to allow him to take the lead, because in my life I am a leader. So in my work day or whatever I'm doing, I'm always leading. When I'm with my man, I want to be fine. I want to be feminine. I want him, yes, open, all the trimmings that come with, or that come from being with a man. I want to be in my feminine self. So in a relationship, I think the problem is submitting to the right leader. Okay. And that's in, okay, men choose, we choose back. I think when I think it comes with the choosing. And if you cannot to submit to the person, you probably shouldn't be in the relationship, because there has to be a lead. And it's just Steph. It's just Steph. I'm just saying, I don't have a problem with submitting and letting my man be lead, because as a leader, he's going to do what's best for the union. He's going to do what's best for us. I'm hoping that would be my hope. And then he's going to also lend his ear to me. If it's finances that I know better, or real estate, or whatever it is, baby, what do you think? Because leaders do that. That's just my thing. As we head on out the door, you all, I thank you all so much. You have been on fire in this chat. Alan, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you out and let.
All right, you're welcome. Final word. Get therapy, people. Get a preacher. Give you counseling. Stop talking to your friends and your cousins and your aunts that got bad relationships too. Get therapy and get preachers. That's my final word.
Oh, God.
Trudy says, okay, thank you, Alan. I'm going to get some of these last comments out of here. Trudy says her husband is the head of their household, but I trust him to lead based on the qualities he has displayed me. Okay.
Right.
Frank Willoughby says role. Aaliyah says she's seen several of his videos and she's aware of his teachings, and I don't agree. Aaliyah, I think it's kind of like the conversation that I had with a friend. He has some good teaching points, and she says she just had to eat the chicken and spit out the bones. I mean, so, but he's but one person. He's but one coach. He's but one teacher. And I think you have to find your fit with that too. He ain't the last word. He just has a word. The last word. Right. Chicago, everything says keeping me would be supportive, trustworthy, have your own goals, hold him accountable, and tight with her family and friends. Okay, so that's to keep him. Frank Willoughby says, do your part and a woman can do her part. Roles, ladies, sisters, brothers, men, know your roles. I think, and that's a conversation for another show, Daniel. Somewhere along the lines, our roles got crossed.
Yeah, I mean, twisted.
Yes. And I think that it's a huge problem. And if we can get that right, I grew up with my mother and father would have been married 55 years.
Yeah.
And I call my father the blue collar gangster, because you just my dad. He was fearless. But and he was 5'11". The gangster, blue collar. But my mother was a 5'4", petite, feminine, classy, just mild-mannered woman. Now she had fire, but my mother gangstered the gangster, even in her, And so I saw that growing up. I saw a man lead his household, but my mother, how do they say it? The man is the head, but the woman is the neck. But my father, he gave that to her. He gave that role. So I don't know. I grew up with great examples, I must say. Dwayne says a string being pulled is better than being pushed. Okay. Okay. I'm missing that. Last comments, you guys. Wrap it up. Any woman will submit if you, as a man, gain their trust and allow them to trust you to make the right decisions. Frank, thank you. Great show. Trudy says great conversation. Frank Willoughby says I'm waiting on you. Great show. I don't know what that means either. I don't know what that means.
Kiddo.
Daniel, thank you so much for coming on here.
You're more than welcome.
I'm sending this out to Kevin Samuels. Brother, if you're watching, I know you said that You helped a lot of women out, and some couples have gotten married, and clearly you wouldn't be as popular. You wouldn't have as many following you if you didn't have some success. So I commend you on that. I'm just saying, I'm just gonna eat the chicken and spit out the bones. That's what I'm gonna do. Daniel, do you have any last words for the people before we head out of here?
Absolutely not. I think that the time has been well spent, and thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. You got to come back.
Okay, anytime.
Hey, listen, everybody out there, to the Frank, to the Chris, to the Dwayne, to the Trudy, to the E-Fizz, to the Chicago Everything, to the J&J, Christopher, Tracy. I'm just trying to think of all of the people in here. I can't get everybody into. Those of you who are watching who didn't comment, thank you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving me your Friday nights. I'm trying to give you something new to look forward to. And before you go, please go ahead, make sure you like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm getting parched. I'm going to reach over here and get this. My mouth is getting, but anyway, and also, I forgot what I was going to say. Subscribe, hit like, comment, and yeah. See you guys next week. We'll be back here next Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for the cash apps and the support. I love you all. And until I see you again, do me a favor. Stay out of your own way. See you next time. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Much love. Take care. All right.